Welcome to this week's video. We have got a new theme up and running, and we're starting off where it all started vaguely for popular music, maybe. And that is when?
The 50s!
The 50s! So, we are going to look and have a little chat about what went on in the 50s and all the great artists of that era, and all the how it changed and sculpted the new industry that we live in today.
And also, like, all culture. It helped so much with color segregation in America, and changed the view of, like, the old middle-class white people that didn't want to listen to anything that wasn't pure white.
Also, love 50s music. 50s music is cool. So, where did it all begin in the 50s? I would say that it started off with one man in particular, in blues and bit of jazz, and that man is who?
Louie Armstrong.
So, at top of the game in 1950 was Louie Armstrong.
Hold me close and hold me fast, the magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose.
Blues and jazz musician, played the trumpet, was just super cool.
Yeah.
Came in strolling and like just was cool.
And Frank Sinatra was one of the guys that he will be remembered.
The poster boy.
Honestly, he will be remembered for years and years to come. And Tony Bennett was also around at the same time. And I would say Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra are not the same, but very similar. But the difference is Frank Sinatra died.
They're a similar kind of music, but like what sort of music would you say Frank Sinatra and...
See, we have this name for this type of music in Norwegian called storband.
It's bluesy, isn't it?
Because it's big band.
It's big band. That's what it is, it's big band. Yeah.
That's what it's called.
It's big band music, yeah.
Oh, so there is a word for it.
Yeah,
because it's literally what it means in Norwegian.
Yeah.
Band.
So everyone obviously knows a lot of Frank Sinatra songs. We're going to look at one in particular that came out in 1950, and that was the Christmas rendition of Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Which everyone is on every Christmas playlist that you'll ever hear in your whole life.
But the best version is Frank Sinatra.
Oh, so good.
So obviously before rock and roll came and everything like that, there was a lot of other type of music that was very influential other than jazz and blues, and that was movies.
But movies at the time were coming out and they were like big blockbuster things and people were really excited about it.
Yeah.
And like the music involved in these films was such a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to start off in 1952 with Singing in the Rain.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again.
Yeah, so the movie title track and the movie was called Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched it,
So
please watch it.
Singing in the Rain, of course, is performed by Gene Kelly, and that's the one that everyone knows.
And another very famous musical from back in the day.
Just a little bit. I would say she's like semi-famous.
Oh,
Just like maybe a little bit.
yeah.
Anyone guess?
Tiny bit. Marilyn Monroe, maybe? Marilyn Monroe, and she was in the massive screening of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And obviously, if you think about it, it's just so not okay. But one of the tracks which is one of my favourite tracks of all times, is Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
It's then that those louses go back to their spouses. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
And Marilyn Monroe was not the best singer,
No.
but that didn't matter, because
No.
she was an icon.
The song's brilliant as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. So, one person that I really want to talk about, and something that I love, is a bit of country music. So I love the really early country music. And someone who was at the top of his game in the 50s, who sadly died at a very young age, is Hank Williams. He was one of the first stars in country music to really get big from that. There's not that many recordings of him. Songs that you might know from Hank Williams. My personal favourite is Hey Good Lookin'.
Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
Hey, good looking. So good. And he did all that.
I don't get it.
He did all the yodeling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like so cool. It's so cool. So, and fun fact of the day. I know that in the UK, The song that was the biggest seller of the whole 50s was indeed Rock Around the Clock.
Right, right, so join me home. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes one. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
By Billy Haley. Billy
Haley?
Haley? Billy Haley.
And the Comets!
Billy Haley and the Comets.
Yeah.
I think that's right, Billy Haley. So, then we'd also like to move on to the biggest part of the 50s, I would say, and the reason why we're all here, and that is rock and roll!
Yeah!
Yeah!
And the founding father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, the man himself.
And he was just an entertainer.
He's just so cool, isn't he?
So good.
Obviously, Chuck Berry being the coolest dude ever. His whole thing was in performing, wasn't it? And one of his greatest songs, or probably his greatest song, is obviously Johnny B. Good.
Who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar just like a ringing a bell. Go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go!
But also from Chuck Berry, we have people like Little Richard with Tutti Frutti.
She rock to the east, she rock to the west, but she's the gal that I love best. Tutti Frutti, oh Rudy, Tutti Frutti, oh Rudy.
I'm Rudy, Tutti Frutti. Woo! And then also, obviously, we've talked about blues, we've talked about jazz, but we also have soul. And a guy that's kind of renowned for being the king of soul was Sam Cooke. And my favorite song from him is You Send Me.
Darling, you thrill me, honest you do.
And
Just
he was also...
smooth. Just like a smooth guy. He was cool.
He was just great. And I think a very important thing, like if you see like most of the artists that we're talking about right now, actually 50-50 white and black, but the ones that are called the founding father, the king of soul, like
All black, yeah.
they were black.
Also, coming along from Hank Williams, which was like sort of late 40s, very early 50s, country music developed hugely and also brought out the star that everyone loves and knows, and that is Johnny Cash. He was around towards sort of the late 50s and was the peak of country music at the time, globally, wasn't he? And what's your favourite song?
I Walked a Line.
I Walked a Line.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Which is one, I think that was one of his number one hits in the late
Yeah.
in the late 50s. And then the peak of the world and everyone's favourite person from the 50s is
King
who?
of rock.
Who else but Elvis?
Yay.
Yes.
Sweet.
Elvis came about in sort of 1954-ish. He had a few little hits, and the biggest thing for him was that he was a white guy singing black rock and roll like blues music, wasn't he? He grew up in very like church music, didn't he? And he was doing like very soulful, and then he came out and did all his stuff, and it was all very controversial, everything he was doing, and his hits are all played all the time today. I love them, we all love them. Stuff like Heartbreak Hotel,
Down at the end of Lonely Street at Heartbreak Hotel.
Jailhouse Rock,
You should have heard the knocked out jailbird sing that rock. Everybody let her rock.
my favourite, Don't Be Cruel,
If you can't come around, at least please telephone. Don't be cruel to who heart is true.
I think the most like interesting thing was that obviously because he was on all TV shows and everything, but tons of parodies and tons of television shows
didn't let them watch it, yeah.
didn't let it air because he was dancing inappropriately.
hits, yeah.
He's probably, if you think about it, the first biggest superstar, the international superstar.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
Baby, it's just you I'm thinking of. Don't be cruel.
Okay.
Ooh. So good. I went to Memphis a couple of years ago and I stayed in the Elvis campsite. and they had Elvis radio playing 24/7.
God.
And then as you enter Elvis's house, to go to like for a tour around his house, they have like an audio set on, and it's one of his songs going, "Welcome to my world.
Oh my God.
Won't you come on in?" And me and my friends were like, "This is like the coolest thing."
But yeah, and obviously all this will take us on to the 60s that we will do later.
I am mega excited for the 60s.
I'm mega excited about the 70s. That's my... If you guys like this and you have some ideas on how we should do the 60s or 70s or 80s, give us a shout. Give us some comments.
And thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye!